Welcome back to Notes from a Songbird podcast with yours truly, Myra DeShields Farrell. And today we're talking about something that is really necessary if you're about to break out into singing. It's called a music resume. It's just like a traditional resume that highlights your body of work. When you start working, that is, you start getting paid to go out and to perform. People are going to want to know a little bit about you on paper. This is especially necessary because a lot of singers focus on talent but not presentation. So I have my notes here digitally because I'm operating from a different vantage point in my home. But I wanted to be a little bit more relaxed in this topic and talk about this because many people are going to need it. You're going to need it when you get to this point. Key is when you get to this point. So it's one of those things that quietly opens doors. So if you have something on paper, they can see who you are, they can see what type of songs you sing, they can see if you're a fit for their showcase or their particular venue, right? It's sort of the resume sort of speaks for you, and then you can have dialogue in relation to that resume when you get to the point. Why every singer needs a music resume even before you feel ready, right? You need to know what it is you're working towards. You certainly can start off in one lane saying you want to be this type of singer, and by the time you look, you're starting to morph into a different genre of music. So you can kind of track that when you have some type of resume, something in print, your notes. So your talent needs paperwork. The music resume is the thing that sometimes singers forget, and we're going to talk about why serious artists have resumes and how a music resume opens doors. Now, a lot of singers think the voice is enough, but when opportunities come, festivals, gigs, weddings, bands, cruises, theater, background, vocals, interviews, people ask one thing: can you send me your resume? Well, you don't have one. Oops, you're in trouble. Yeah, you want to make sure you have something on paper. Many talented singers will freeze right there and they'll get caught. So let's not do that. Let's not get you into that type of problem. Now, a music resume will make you look professional because it says you have some body of work. That's what a resume does in the real world when you're looking for a job. Why not the same when looking for a job with the vocals? It shows your craft and it shows that you take it seriously. It helps people trust you and makes booking easier. Helps you stand out from hobby singers because there are hobby singers out there. People just sing as a hobby, but it differentiates you and puts you in a different lane or a different position. It says you are a serious musician. So you could mention things like, I'm gonna give you an example. I hope you're taking notes or play this back and just take some paper notes or digital notes. I'm a digital person today, so I have my digital notes. So you could mention your venues, musicians, music directors, wedding planners, theater productions, cruise auditions, corporate gigs, churches, festivals, things that you have performed at, which shows that you have been paid to go out as an artist and you are a working professional. Your resume tells your story. This part fits your storytelling style. Should fit your storytelling style on your resume, okay? So think about this. Your resume is going to reflect your journey of music. Every performance is going to matter. Every detail, it matters. Open mics count. Hello, a lot of people don't know that. Community theater counts. Choir experiences count. Teaching counts. Podcasting counts. Independent project counts. So I want you to think of it this way. Don't wait until you feel famous to document your journey. Think of it that way. I want you to keep that in your head. Don't wait. And I'm not saying that you're going to be famous. I said feel famous. Don't wait until you feel famous to document your journey. Now, what should go on the music resume? This section is going to give you some practical value. Your name is the artist, your contact information, social media, your website, vocal range, genres of music, performance experience, training, skills, collaborations, special performances, awards or features, headshot. You could even mention if you have this information, if you've done background vocals, dance, acting, songwriting, teaching, coaching, podcast, media work, whatever it is, all of this is credible, right? The difference between a beginner and a prepared artist is that this can become one of your deeper reflective moments where on your resume you can show that you have pedigree, like you've been doing this for quite some time. So I just want you to think about this. Sometimes opportunities come fast, and preparation determines whether you can walk through the door. Look at my episode where I talk about preparation and rehearsal. Get that down, nail that down. So when the opportunity comes knocking, you're ready. Opportunity knocks, you want to respond. So you could get last minute calls, you could get an audition, someone asking for materials immediately, and your organization, your ability to stay organized is really going to matter. So you might want to start getting some of this stuff well in hand now, not later. All right. And I say this is when you get to that point when you're starting to go out, but you still want to have an idea of what does this look like. Start crafting some of this stuff out so that you are better prepared. This is for people who want to go out. If you're not interested in going out, if you're not interested in monetizing your singing, then certainly don't do this. Do it as a hobby and so on and so forth. But you still, as a hobby, may want to show what you can do. Sometimes a hobby turns into gigs in monetization. You just never know. Better to be safe than sorry, right? That's what I think. Anyway, now I'm going to tell you there was a moment in which I did not have a music resume and I just winged it. There was not training like this in the past where you needed to have these things, but I will tell you, it is always good to have. I always had my resume ready. In fact, I had digital resumes online where people could go and see my body of work. And I had a laundry list to the point that it got so long that it just was redunculous. It was just impossible to keep up with. So I had to drop stuff off. And of course, just like a normal job resume, you have to drop off a certain amount of years of experience so that you can make sure that that resume is still valid and it has up-to-date information. For me, time preparation helped. I always made sure I had enough time prepared to make sure that resume was clean and ready to go. I started out in New York. I migrated into Charlotte doing some performances and things like that. And then I started doing these major productions and then it got big. And then, I'm taking off and then I'm starting to do showcases and I'm starting to perform over here. People are paying for me to travel to this country or this state. After a while, it starts to pick up. So you want to be able to track those things. And I certainly did. I've done cruise showcases. So I pretty much had a lot under my belt. And you want to talk about your ability to do that. Now, why do you think that that matters? If someone says that, sees that you've done a cruise or you've done a large arena, it tells them this person can handle pressure, this person can handle large crowds. So it doesn't matter if they were performing for 50 people, 10, 5, 1,000 or whatever. It's no skin off their backs because they're used to performing with a large crowd. So some of that history tells them things about you. However, do not fabricate, do not stretch the truth. You will be caught because they will often ask for references and you'll have to produce those. So just be very careful. Now, your resume is not bragging, it's documentation. It says, I've been doing the work. I've been grinding out here. I've been putting in the hours. I've been putting in the work. I've been training these vocals to do what I need them to do. Even if your journey starts small, I want you to honor it and to track your work. Okay? We're going to talk about some details of how to build your brand as an artist. There's so much that goes involved in this, and this is a mini episode, but I wanted to come to you to provide some details as to what you need to start doing sooner than later so that you are well equipped to present yourself a certain way. You want to always show up prepared. You always want to put your best foot forward. I'm a firm believer of that. And this is just a mini episode from Notes from a Songbird podcast with yours truly, Myra DeShields Farrell. I will see you in the next episode. I'm always going to carve out these gems for you and drop a note and let me know how you've been doing so far with what I've been sharing. I know somebody's using this information, and if you're not, why not? you should be doing something with it. And if you're not doing something with it, do you know someone who could use this information that could help them? I certainly talked to someone today on the telephone that told me that they have someone who's a singer in their family and that they're a little stuck, that they don't really know how to go handle some outside things. I'm here, like I'm your girl. I don't hold anything back. I will share as much as I can. At the same token, though, I'm not going to give you every little ins and out because you've got to do some of the work. Get it? If I give it to you, where do you learn? Where did you put in the work? You've got to put in the work. You've got to prove you really want this. So, talk to you soon. And listen, y'all, keep doing your thing. I'll be your number one cheerleader in the background saying, you can do this because I believe in you. Take care.